On the other side, the Darkcom group breaks into the place where the necklace is, but it turns out to be a trap, and they get trapped inside. The signal cuts off, and at that moment, they hear the rabbit's voice as he speaks to the building's residents, who are demons. He tells them that anyone who cooperates or helps them in any way will face immediate execution. The group advances further, and suddenly, one of them appears from behind and takes out one of the residents. They attack him, but nothing affects him as he continues to kill them, one by one. The rest of the demons also emerge, turning the scene into a massacre. Killing happens left and right, without any mercy. Mary is the only one left alive. She is on the verge of death, but she pulls out her weapon and miraculously manages to escape from them. She exits to one of the floors, but one of the traps activates and releases toxic gas on her. The girl begins to hallucinate and sees things that aren't there. She sees her dead friends blaming her for what happened. One of the demons attacks her, but it turns out to be just her imagination. She envisions her father transforming into a demon and falls into one of the pits. She finds a demon in front of her, thinking it's just an illusion, but it attacks her, and she barely manages to evade it. She runs away, no longer able to distinguish between illusion and reality. She gets cornered at one of the apartments. She intends to break into and get in, but at that moment, the door opens and someone behind it tells her to get out of there. We don't want any more problems than this. She had no choice but to keep begging him. Ultimately, he chose to help her. The devil shows up then, and it becomes clear that they are all demons. It searched for her for a while, and when he couldn't find anything, he left them. They take her out at that moment and tell her to escape quickly, but they find her pointing a weapon at them. The father tells her, "We risked everything to protect you, and in the end, you point a weapon at me and my children." She replies, "Your friends have just finished off my team." He asks her, "Do you think all demons are the same?" She says, "Then what are you doing here, if you're not really followers of the rabbit?" He tells her, "We were trying to escape from our world, and he was the only one who knew the way. For demons, their world is very harsh, filled with dangers and giant monsters. The air is toxic, and there are no resources or food. Survival there is almost impossible for weak demons like them. However, the rabbit appeared with a strange device and offered them refuge in the human world. Dozens of families fled from there in hopes of survival, but the human world was not in better shape than the demon world for them. In any case, they will remain persecuted and threatened with death at any moment." They had no choice but to obey his orders. It turned out that he was also conducting experiments on the orphaned children among them. They pleaded with her, saying, "We just want to survive like you." At that moment, she sees clearly that they are just a poor family that has been deceived. She informs them that help is on its way, and that she would assure their safety and the transportation of them and the other families to safety. On the other side, the battle intensifies between Dante and the two demons, and Dante is unable to do anything against them. They mock him and his father, saying he couldn't save his family that died. They pin him against the wall, and at that moment, he remembers his mother as she dies before him. The fight continues, and the two of them are hitting him from every direction. One of them start talking, just like the rabbit said, "You are nothing but weak and cowardly, just like your father." He attacks him and inflicts a serious injury. At that moment, Dante sees one of the hostages and remembers his mother. He recalls her telling him about his father, saying he was a brave and great warrior who fought against the strongest armies for their freedom. Dante awakens and unleashes the power of the demon within him, repelling the enemy's attack. He says, "You are right. I am just like my father." He throws him and slams him against the wall with just one hand. Our man finally accepts his reality, and because of that, he manages to awaken the power of the demon inside him. The demon attacks him, but Dante's movements become very fast, dodging all of its strikes and cutting off its arm. He takes his sword and plunges it into the demon, killing it. Dante returns to his normal state, and the demon decides to blow up the plane. Dante runs towards him, but it's too late. The plane indeed explodes, and everyone falls from it. At that moment, the demon retreats and leaves them to face their fate. Dante notices several parachutes, so he quickly grabs them and starts saving people one by one. However, at that moment, he feels a very strange sensation and begins to transform. His memories intertwine, and he remembers the rabbit telling him, "You are the son of Sparta." He also recalls his mother giving him the necklace and telling him, "I want you to protect it no matter the cost." He remembers the day the demons attacked them and killed his mother right before his eyes. He screams in anger, and his entire body transforms into his dangerous demonic form. He even grows wings and manages to save everyone. He takes them to the roof of one of the buildings, but at that moment, the remaining demon arrives and attacks him again. Now we return to Mary, who stumbles upon the place where the rabbit is conducting his cursed experiments. She finds the demons there dying, and one of them begs her to kill him. When she fulfills his request, the shape-shifting demon enters. Mary suddenly remembers strange memories from her childhood, opening fire on them in a hysterical manner. She does this as a merciful act towards them, and to prevent the rabbit from conducting more experiments on them. She continues to roam the place with her colleague, and from the way he speaks, she realizes he is a fake. She avoids his attack and counterattacks him, but his body is very strange and is not affected by anything. He returns to his natural form and attacks her, managing to injure her. At that moment, another demon sees her and pulls her, breaking one of the walls with her. He is about to finish her off, but she tells him to wait. She offers him the chance to disguise himself as her, and with that, he could easily infiltrate their organization. She is a high-ranking officer, and if he takes her form, he will be able to access dangerous and highly important information. The demon actually agrees to her offer. He disguises himself as her and finds another demon entering and attacking him. He stabs her with poisoned spikes without realizing he is her colleague. At that moment, Mary comes out from behind and pulls out her guns, shooting at her. She manages to hit her several times and finishes her off. After that, she reaches the control room and sees the families being held captive, which deeply saddens her. She also sees the support teams outside, waiting for any opportunity to attack. She opens the gates for them, but it turns out there are bombs hanging there. She tries to warn them, and the group hears her and withdraws at the last moment. Dante was on the other side, having gained a lot of strength, managing to defeat the other demon easily. He was hitting it and asking about the rabbit's location. At that moment, he heard an explosion coming from where Mary was. Mary at that time managed to save her squad, even if two of them had died in the explosion. She spoke to the demon families through the speakers in the building, telling them she knew they didn't intend to harm humans, and that they came to this world because they couldn't survive in their own. She told them that the support team would enter now and rescue them from there. She knew they weren't the enemies. She told them, "The only enemy we all have is the rabbit." She ordered the soldiers to rescue them and take them to the headquarters, where it would be decided where to send them exactly. Meanwhile, she was heading to confront the rabbit. Dante was also heading there, but the demon caught up with him and grabbed him. Dante's transformation was ending, and the demon intended to crush him into the ground, but Dante broke free and changed direction towards the building where Mary was. The demon was about to finish him off, but he found Mary, who shot him in the head, ending his life. "You're a brave girl!" "Finally, guys!" Dante tells her what happened, and she decides to cooperate with him for the time being. She follows the signal from the tracking device on the necklace, but it turns out that the rabbit had revealed it a long time ago and placed it there to mislead her. This guy isn't an ordinary villain, guys. Anyway, the White Ribbit calls them. He threatens that he will unleash his army in and kill everyone in the city if Dante doesn't come to him. Mary notices a contradiction in his words. It is clear that he wants to trap Dante, but why? He has the sword and the necklace, but so far he hasn't broken the barrier between the worlds. Mary says to Dante, "He could have killed you, but he didn't." Dante tells her, "Maybe because I'm the son of Sparta or something?" The girl then deduced that Sparta used his blood to create the barrier, and most likely, the White Rabbit needs someone with the same blood to break that barrier. However, he didn't take blood from him before, because his demonic side was dormant. Now, after he has fully transformed, all the preparations are complete. The rabbit then told Mary, "In any case, I know that Dante is foolish and will come to me even though he knows my plan. You have only 30 minutes. If you don't show up during this time or notice any movements from Dark-Com or the army, I will immediately start the attack." He tells them that the day will come when each one of them will get what they deserve, and ends the call with them. Mari realizes his aim is not simply the sword and amulet, but also Darkcom, which he strongly dislikes. On the other side, the transforming devil is still alive, impersonating one of the soldiers and creeping back in. At the same time, evacuation operations are ongoing, but the team receive a call from the vice president. This true demon, if I may say so, refuses the idea of their evacuation. He tells them to ignore previous orders and gives them a new command to eliminate all of the demons. I knew it from the beginning that he's a devil with cold blood. Anyway, he orders them to eliminate all peaceful civilians' demons. He ordered them to kill everyone, including women and children. The transforming demon was watching, shocked by the brutality of humans. He no longer knows who the real devil is. Who is pretending to be the victim turned out to be the true oppressor. He got angry and decided to blow up the entire place and die there as well. Back to Dante, who is taking Mai and escapes from the place. The vice president remains unconcerned about the number of victims killed by both squads. We later will discover that Mary was an ordinary child living with her father and mother like any other child. But one day, while they were returning home, they were attacked by a demon. But fortunately, a train came and killed it before it reached them. Her father reported what happened, but of course no one believed him. He tried to spread the word, but people denied his claims and accused him of madness. After that, he began searching for a way to gain power to confront those creatures. Unfortunately, he couldn't reach anything, and his state continued to worsen day by day. One day, Mary was glancing at him and found him conducting strange experiments on the arm of one of the demons. The father noticed she saw him, so he quickly closed the door. Their family began to fall apart, and the girl didn't know what to do. Simultaneously, a family adopted another child. This guy was really talented, but he was bullied by the other children in the family if he tried to retaliate or made any mistake, even a minor one. He was abused, punished, and even locked outside the house. However, one day this kid found a strange gate opening in front of him, a gate to another world like he had seen in fairy tales. Unlike Mary, who was afraid to confront her father, the boy decided to take the risk and enter that unknown world. He discovered a bleak landscape teeming with toxic air and terrifying monsters. He tried everything he could to get away, but it was in vain. He was on the verge of death, if it weren't for the help of Demon who assisted him in hiding. The monster leaves the place, and the boy faints afterward. He wakes up to find himself in a strange place, sitting next to one of the demon children. They take him and show him around, and the boy notices their extreme poverty and the dire conditions they face. However, despite all this, they were happy to have him and welcomed him as a member of their family. While Mary was playing a demon hunting game with her friends, the boy was helping to build villages in his world. He shared in their lives and became a part of their family. While he was playing with them, he found a strange stone, and it was the start of everything. He started making devices and learned how to produce energy from those stones. As he was wandering in the demon world, he stumbled upon the place where their nobles and the strongest lived. They were living a luxurious life by exploiting and enslaving the weak. One of the demon children suddenly collapsed. It turned out he was sick from the polluted air and was suffering, and everyone knew his fate was death. On the other hand, Mary observed a conflict between her parents. Her father had lost his mind, and in his thirst for power, he injected himself with demon blood. He transformed, lost control, and began to devour Mary's mother in front of her. He then turned to her, intending to kill her as well. The poor girl was terrified and grabbed a scalpel, trying to attack him, but he threw her aside. Fire then erupted in the place, and the girl saw the demon who was once her father burning in front of her, and thus she lost both her father and mother right before her eyes. However, while the workers were extinguishing the fire, something emerged from it at an incredible speed, and it was clear that the father was still alive. On the other side, the boy witnessed the death and funeral of that small child demon, who was more than just a friend to him. He considered him like a brother. From that moment on, he decided to help those poor demons and to do everything in his power to free them from that hell. Meanwhile, Mary believed that the demons were the cause of all that had happened. and that they were the root of evil in this world. She decided to take revenge on them at any cost. She grew up and joined Darkcom to achieve her goal of avenging the demons, while the boy managed to design a device that identifies the locations of the cracks between the two worlds and expands them more and more to create a portal they could cross through. In this way, he was able to save a large number of weak families. Meanwhile, on the other side, Mary and the Darkcom group were working on exterminating the demons and tracking their movements. They received news that a large number of them were hiding in one of the warehouses, and they indeed went there. Although the demons did not attempt to attack them, they killed them without hesitation. The boy, on the other side, was transporting a group of demons when suddenly a monster appeared to them. The group quickly escaped through the portal, only to find their remaining friends killed on the other side. Mary and her group aimed their weapons at them, but Mary noticed that he was human, so she told them to wait. The man told her, "We don't intend any harm. We're just trying to escape." He hadn't finished his sentence when the monster caught up with them from behind. It began to devour the demons, and the group was terrified, starting to shoot in every direction. Our man sees his friends and loved ones suffering and dying around him. He himself is injured, and at that moment, Mary throws a bunch of bombs into the monster's mouth and escapes from the place. The area is completely destroyed, and the only survivor is the man, nothing more. He suffers serious injuries, looks around, and finds the bodies of his friends filling the place. He completely loses his mind and starts laughing. After that, he adjusts his body and mixes it with the blood of demons so he can survive. He wears the rabbit mask and stitches it onto his face to later transform into the dangerous villain we know. This is a living example of the saying that villains are not born, but made. He was just a good human child who wanted to help his friends, but this world rejected that idea. Because of this, he was forced to become the devil and destroy this world to build a new one. Now, back to the present, the rabbit enters the world of demons. He meets one of them, who had the first half of the necklace. Moreover, he is the one who told the rabbit that Dante is the son of Sparda, and that he has the other half of the necklace. Additionally, he gives him a vial containing the blood of Sparda's other son, Dante's brother, named Virgil. But wasn't he supposed to be dead when the demons attacked them before? How did he manage to obtain his blood? The rabbit tells him, "I know very well who you are. So there is only one explanation for your possession of the first half of the necklace and Virgil's blood. Could it be that this is Virgil, Dante's brother, whom he thought had been dead for several years? But if this is really true, then why is he fighting on the side?" The rabbit then turns back and tells his army to prepare for battle. Dante wakes up at that moment, and both are shocked when they see the scene before them. Everyone in the place is dead without exception. Mary intended to go alone, but Dante stops her. He tells her that he thought, since he is the son of Sparda, his demonic side would likely be different from other demons. However, when he transformed, he felt an immense power, but along with it, he also felt anger and hatred that fueled it. He says, "I'm sure my father felt the same thing, but he managed to suppress those emotions and use that power to protect the world. Since my mother entrusted me with this amulet, which the rabbit intends to use to destroy the world, it is now my responsibility to stop him." Mary tells him no and shoots at his leg. She then pulls him and throws him into the truck, saying, "You misunderstood. The rabbit needs your blood to complete his plan, and that's why I'm going alone." She locks him in and leaves.